This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Living with COVID. I'm Rishika Barua. This is the show where we help you navigate the new normal by answering your questions on the coronavirus. Joining us as always is a panel of expert doctors who will answer some of those questions for us. On the broadcast, we have with us Dr. G.C. Vaishnav. He is the Group Director, Internal Medicine at the Yatharth Super Speciality Hospital in Noida. We also have with us Dr. Rajendra Chauda. He is a blood pressure, diabetes and cardiac care center. He's a senior physician there, joining us from Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. Thank you so much, doctors, for sparing the time of day and being with us on the broadcast today. I want to begin by asking you, Dr. Vaishnav, if I can, what are the kind of steps that you're taking to make healthcare accessible and safe for patients at this time? There are still a lot of people out there who are extremely insecure, nervous, have a lot of reservations about accessing healthcare facilities.
See, precaution is the only measure which you can take. Right from the time you leave your house, you should wear gloves, mask, glasses, hat or some kind of cap, carry sanitizer with you. You leave home, you reach hospital where you are not supposed to touch anything. Use sanitizer whenever it is possible. Don't remove your mask. And in hospital also, most of the hospitals, the hospital I am working in, Yatharth Hospital, where we use sanitizer right from the entry point. We check temperature, we give sanitizer. Those who are not wearing gloves, we provide gloves to them. We provide masks to them, and then they are allowed to enter the hospital. Once they come to my chamber, there is a sister wearing proper gown, face shield, mask, gloves, and headgear. Then we check their vitals, temperature, BP, and other things, and then they come to my desk, where I see them wearing my cap, my eye shield, mask. I use gloves also, and we maintain a distance of about 6 feet between the patient and the doctor, and we have put a screen in between, a see-through screen, which further protects patient and doctor both. And then when examined, we take extra precaution, because when you are listening to the chest of the patient, then we use that face shield before examining. So we take all the precaution, and the only mantra to prevent the spread of corona or to protect yourself from corona or COVID-19 is precaution. That is the only mantra which we have to follow today and tomorrow, and we don't know for how long, probably lifelong.
All right. So precaution is extremely important, and it's very interesting. You list out a whole host of measures that are being taken as far as examining patients are concerned. So it's not just the patients who are being kept safe from doctors, but even doctors who are being kept safe from meeting several patients. Dr. Chauda, if I can come to you, the similar problem exists in different parts of the country as well. What is the sort of protocol that is being followed at this time to ensure that testing is carried out safely? Because it's not just COVID testing that one is talking about. There are a whole gamut of other tests that are also conducted on a daily basis for several other problems, so to speak. So how can we ensure that testing is done safely so that patients don't contract the coronavirus?
Yeah, very rightly said, because we are seeing all the patients, whether they are COVID or non-COVID, we are screening all these patients at reception for any symptoms of COVID. We are taking the temperature record, and we are asking for any loss of taste, loss of smell, or any impairment of the smell or impairment of the taste if it is there. And at the same time, we are watching for the oxygen saturations also. If any patient who is having temperature, who is having saturation less than 93%, or any symptoms, viral fever, then we are sending all these patients, we are referring all these patients to our fever clinic, so that these patients, they should not come in contact with the non-COVID, because my center is basically dealing with blood pressure, diabetes and cardiac care patients. So these type of patients, they should not be infected by other. So we are watching all we are taking all these precautions. At the same time, we are allowing patient one by one only in our chamber, not allowing any attendant also. And before examination, the hand wash is mandatory, sanitization of the hand is also mandatory, and we are maintaining proper distancing at in the waiting room also. After every examination, we are sanitizing our stethoscope, we are sanitizing the examination pad also.
All right, so whole host of measures there that are in fact being followed to ensure that even equipment, medical equipment, is sanitized in between patients. Dr. Vaishnav, if I can come back to you, what are the kind of protocols that are being followed in a fever clinic, and how do you diagnose and provide primary care?
In the hospital, we have the patient, once they enter the hospital and they complain of fever, then they are guided towards the fever clinic, where we have staff who is wearing PPE kit, gloves, and proper sanitation is observed there. The patient is, they are welcome there. All fever patients, they are seen there, they are examined there, and then they take the history and all the parameters which is required to know whether he is suffering from COVID-19 or non-COVID, because this is a season for typhoid also, malaria also, dengue also, and we get common flu as well. So we screen them, and once they are screened, their investigation is sent. Those who require COVID-19 test or suspected to be COVID-19 patients, they are kept in triage. There is a separate area, and their sample is sent because the results come after 24 hours only. They are kept in observation for 24 hours, and once the reports come positive, they are shifted to the COVID hospital, which is in Noida Extension, Yatharth Hospital. And those who come negative for COVID test, they are shifted to the ward for further treatment, and investigation is sent for all the diseases which are prevalent right now.
All right, so special precautions and care being taken at the fever clinic, because remember, fever is one of the key COVID-19 symptoms, but could also be a symptom of something which is non-COVID related. Dr. Chaura, what's your opinion on the involvement of cardiac ailments and COVID-19? Specifically, if you could elaborate on the role of ECGs in diagnosing, viral myocarditis.
Basically, this COVID is not only the respiratory virus. This virus basically not only involves the respiratory tract, but at the same time it also involves the myocardium, means the heart muscles. Means any COVID patient, they are more prone for infection of the cardiac muscles, that is known as myocarditis. Or these patients, they are more prone for strokes, they are more prone for heart failure. And sometimes what we see in patient of COVID without any evidence of coronary artery disease, we see the rise of troponins and other cardiac markers. That is the condition which is known as cytokine storm. So these inflammatory markers, basically, they are there in COVID patients, about 10 to 15% of the cases. So these patients, COVID patients, they are more prone for myocardial infarction, more prone for heart failure. They are basically the cause of myocarditis also.
All right, Dr. Vaishnav, your advice on managing chronic conditions like diabetes at home. This has been, an exceptional time for many people, not being able to step out, reluctant to step out, preferring to stay at home. But that also means that, the lifestyle has become largely sedentary at this point. So how do you how do you advise people to manage diabetes at home?
See, this is a testing time for diabetic patients actually, and because you can't move out of the house, and most of the relations are at home. All the kids, they have come back from the hostel and they are staying in the room in the same house, and everybody is trying his hand in or her hand in cooking and making a lot of dishes and different type of dishes, it is very difficult to resist. But word of caution, right from the beginning, we are telling our patients that whatever you do, whatever you eat, you have to think that you are diabetic and you are prone to infection. And if you get COVID-19, you are in trouble. So regular exercise, maintaining a routine in life, sleeping in time, getting up in time, doing yoga, some exercises which you can do at home, like static jogging, cycling, treadmill, or walking on the roof, and controlling your diet, because you take small frequencies, avoid carbohydrates, avoid fried and spicy food, so you can control your blood sugar. And yoga, pranayam, yoga, if you are doing relaxation exercises, avoiding taking a lot of stress, because most of the people, the businessman, industrialists suffering from diabetes, there is no work for the last 4-5 months, they are in a lot of stress, then that is causing their blood sugar to go up, and especially the night sleep is disturbed. It's very difficult to control the fasting blood sugar actually. So the word of caution for them that do some relaxation exercises, if needed, consult your doctor for taking some tranquilizer, mild sleeping pills. We have now very good medicines which are sleep inducers, which don't make you addicted to these medicines, but control your sugar, because by controlling your sugar, you are reducing your chances of getting any infection, especially the COVID-19, because if you get it, then you are in a trouble.
All right, so whole host of measures, and of course doctor, they're stressing on the fact that you still need to make sure that you're exercising, even if it is static exercises that you do at home, and of course keep a close watch on what you eat. Both Dr. Vaishnav and Dr. Chowda are going to continue to be live with us on the other side of a very short break. Stay tuned.
Knowledge Partner, USV, your reliable healthcare partner.
Welcome back. You're watching Living with COVID. We have a panel of expert doctors to help answer questions on the coronavirus. Dr. Chowda, if I can come to you at this point, many COVID patients die because of heart attacks and strokes. What is the reason for the same? Could you elaborate it for our viewers?
Normally, the mortality means these COVID patients, about 60 to 80% of the COVID patient, they usually recover by their own. They don't require much medication. And about 20% of the patient, they only need hospitalization. And out of these, only the mortality is only 2.7, 2.8%. But if the COVID patient happens to be diabetic or hypertensive or cardiac or COPD, if the patient is having these type of comorbidities, then the chances of mortality is very, very high. Suppose if the patient is diabetic, the chances of mortality is about 7.8 to 8%. If the patient is having any cardiac problem, then the mortality goes up to 10% also. And if the patient happens to be diabetic and cardiac both, the mortality will be tremendous. So in all patients, one has to investigate the associated conditions like diabetes, blood pressure, hypertension, COPD, whether the patient is a smoker or non-smoker, patient is having any chronic kidney disease, because these comorbidities, if they are there, then the mortality increases. Sometimes what we see in Wuhan and Italy, it was studied that the 7 to 10% of the mortality in COVID patient was because of chronic myocarditis or myocardial damage, direct myocardial damage.
Right.
So these type of situation we can examine by clinical examinations, ECG and echocardiography. We can judge these conditions. We can judge by the measurement of the cardiac markers also. At the same time, what we see, the thrombotic episodes, they are there in COVID patients. Sometimes what we see is these type of patients, they develop deep vein thrombosis, means thrombus formation at the calf muscles. When these calf muscles thrombus, when they detached from the leg, they can go into the pulmonary circulation, leads to pulmonary embolism. That's the emergency. The patient can die at the moment. And these thrombotic episodes are also responsible for myocardial infarction.
Right.
They are also responsible for strokes also. So we have to watch as a patient as a whole, because it is not a disease of respiratory only. It is basically a disease having multi-organ failure. Means
Right.
practically all the system, all the organs of the body, they just get involved because of the COVID.
Right, which is very interesting because it was initially touted to be, a disease that primarily affected only the respiratory system. But what you're essentially saying is that over a period of time, one has learnt much more about it, and it's actually a multi-systemic disease. It can affect different parts of the body, leading to even mortality in the worst of cases. Dr. Vaishnav, talking about
Right.
comorbidities and talking about people who are vulnerable to coronavirus, how does one safeguard elderly people at home? And this is an important question that concerns a lot of households, because now with unlock happening in India, most people are going back to work or have resumed some kind of normal activity which involves going out, which involves exposure. How do you then safeguard elderly people who are staying with you, for instance?
See, again, the same word comes to my mind is precaution. Because when you leave home, you are taking precaution, but when you come back from the office or from your workplace, you please take care right from the time you enter your house. You take off your shoes or sanitize them and go to the room which is in the place which is either on the first thing when you enter the house, nearest to the entrance. You enter that room, you change yourself, you wash yourself, keep those clothes away, and then come out, wear the separate mask, and then come in contact with the elderly. Because this precaution is very important, because whatever you are carrying from outside should remain outside the house or in the separate room where no one else enters. Because the elderly people, now they are saying above the age of 65 years, but I think anybody above the age of 55 is vulnerable. And anybody who has comorbidities and problems like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, cancer, liver disease, kidney failure, immune system is disturbed, who are on long-term steroids, they are vulnerable along with the elderly people. And
Right.
the maximum mortality has been seen in people more than 75 years of age. So we have to take that precaution once you enter your house after coming back from your workplace. Office.
All right, Dr. Chawda, since you've been talking about comorbidities, the other really, interesting sort of revelation has been that when it comes to contracting the infection, anybody could get it. But the people who develop complications are people who have comorbidities. So, what is a comorbidity? Who needs to be more careful than others?
I think diabetes is one of the very important cause of mortality, because diabetes is supposed to be the capital, means after China, we are having the largest number of the diabetic patient in the world. And diabetic patients 45-50 plus having associated other conditions also, because diabetic patients, they usually have a lot other complications also. They are obese, they are chubby, they are having dyslipidemia, they are having associated coronary artery disease. So these type of complications, they are basically merged in diabetic patient. So diabetes is supposed to be the very important marker. At the time of admission or at the time of examination of COVID patient, one has to look for all the other comorbidities to exclude, because these are the main precipitating cause of the mortality. Otherwise, the recovery rate in COVID patient is about 65 to 68% in India. And we don't have much mortality in India also.
I think, it's extremely important to remember that as far as contracting the COVID-19 infection is concerned, everyone is at equal risk, but those who actually can develop complications are the people who in fact do suffer from comorbidities, and therefore they need to be more careful than others. Dr. Vaishnav, if I can, come back to you at this point, since we're talking about precautions that need to be taken by vulnerable people, let's focus on diabetes for a moment. What precautions should people with diabetes take, especially those people who aren't staying at home anymore, especially people who have, say, resumed office or are going back to work now?
See, one thing they have to see, as I mentioned earlier also, precaution which the normal people, a general person who doesn't have any disease is taking, they have to take that precaution and control their sugar. They have to keep their blood sugar fasting around 100, their blood sugar post-prandial, that is 2 hours after breakfast, around 150, and the random blood sugar which normally we see before dinner around 150, and their glycosylated hemoglobin, they have to keep it around 6.5 to 7. They have to control their blood sugar and take precaution which a normal person is advised. And in hospital, in office also, they should avoid stress, and whenever they find time, they should do some exercise. And eating habits, we have to control our eating habits. But what I feel that when they are staying at home, normally it's a general feeling that they tend to eat more. In office, they have a stipulated time. They have they carry their food from home,
right?
And rarely they eat junk food and all those things. But they have to take care. And if you are a diabetic patient, if you control your sugar well, if you take precaution, a little extra precaution as compared to others, you have less chances of getting any infection, including COVID-19 infection.
All right, so those basic precautions, of course, need to be taken. And it's very interesting, Dr. Vaishnav, because you earlier talked about the importance of exercise. You also highlighted importance of yoga, pranayam. Staying mentally fit is equally important at this time. Thank you so much, doctors, for sparing time of day and answering all our questions so very patiently. Thank you for joining us.
Knowledge Partner, USV, your reliable healthcare partner.